message was was a message that was to be conveyed to every member of the National Lawyers Guild and any other, the New York bar and other bars within the tri-state area, to students in the law schools, that there are certain lines that you are not to cross. If you cross these lines, you will be punished. And so what is required, ladies and gentlemen, in order for us to be able to respond to these imperatives is courage. I think it was Frantz Fanon who once said in his magnificent book, The Wretched of the Earth, each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it, or betray it. And for the Muslim community, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may the peace and blessings be upon him, said, when you see an evil action, you must change it with your hand. If you cannot do so, with your tongue. If you cannot do so, detest it within your heart. And that is the weakest degree of faith. The Prophet also said one of the best jihads is to speak truth against to a governing authority that is deviated from the right way. That is one of the best jihads. And this is what we must do. We have got to stand up. We have got to push back. We have got to speak out. And we have got to understand and really understand this to the depths of our being, that silence is not an option. Silence is not an option. There is no neutral ground in this war that is raging in this country and around the world. Either you are on the side of the better of the two Americas, or you are on the side of this America that is ugly as hell, as deeply entrenched as it can be, and a country that is doing its level best to undo what took years and decades for good people, for good men and women to put in place. We are seeing the Constitution, and especially the heart and soul of that document, the Bill of Rights. We're seeing it being eviscerated before our eyes. We have got to stand up. And the last thing I'll say is this. If I didn't say this, I would truly be remiss. We have a unique opportunity. I'm speaking in the law school. I'm speaking to an audience I know that is full of law students. And I know that most of you have learned a long time ago that in your studies you've learned that laws are established on the basis of precedent. One of the things I had been saying to Muslim leaders in New York and in other parts of America, but especially here in New York and in New Jersey and Connecticut over the past year, I've been saying to them, this case of Afia Siddiqui is one of the most significant precedent-setting cases to come before us. This is the most, I mean, in my humble opinion, it is the most significant. Because as Viet Din and these other madmen have been saying, the primary target was 18 to 35-year-old males. With this case, they expanded it to a female. They were pushing the limits, pushing the lines, testing the waters, looking to see what the response in the Muslim community and beyond would be to this Muslim woman being brought up on these fabricated, maddening charges after spending 5 years secretly held in a prison and being tortured. I said to them, brothers, if we don't respond to this case the way that we should, it is a Pakistani sister today, it will be another Muslim sister of another ethnicity tomorrow. And lo and behold, about 2 weeks ago, we hear about this American revert or convert to Islam. An American Caucasian female, recent convert, who has been held since October. And in one of the reports I read, they mentioned that there were a number of other Muslim women that were also being held. I don't know if it was connected to this case or separately in other cases. But they deliberately chose not to make this public until this time, I believe, because they wanted to see first how this case with this woman, Afia Siddiqui, would go in New York City. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll end with this. This case provides us with a very unique opportunity. If we can duplicate for one day, just for one day, that energy, that passion, that sense of outrage against a naked injustice, if we can just duplicate that for just one day, May 6th, here in New York City, the date that Afia Siddiqui is scheduled to be sentenced. If we can have a couple of thousand people on the outside of that courthouse here in Lower Manhattan on May 6th, it will send a powerful message that will not be ignored. And I believe at the end of the day, God willing, it will have a ripple effect on many other cases that may not otherwise see the light of day. I thank you.